What's poppin', man? It's your boy Black Ginger back with another episode of Around the World in 80 Days, and I'm Earth. If it's not obvious, I'm floating through space all around me. I'm sitting here now, and I'm starting to think that maybe cut it for a second. Look at this. Look, I'm not even wearing it. I'm wearing a freaking green smock. I thought this was gonna be you. You told me this was cut to the show, please. You said this was gonna be a good idea. I thought it would be funny. I thought it would.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not bad. Get fired up.
Okay, so this one kind of hurts my head because we left Tokyo at 9 p.m. on September 10th, and then we landed in Honolulu at 10 a.m. Also on September 10th. So I guess I'm a time traveler. So when we got to Honolulu, our first mission was to find some food. So I tried some. I tried what? I don't even know what this is. We hung out on Waikiki Beach for most of the day, and when nighttime came, we fell into an issue that we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. By the time we got here, it was too late to book anywhere to sleep for tonight. So that was issue A. And B, for tomorrow, we had to decide whether we were going to stay in a hostel that would cost about $200 for the next few days, or go camping and spend about $50 for the week. We're going to end up in a hostel tomorrow, but for tonight, we were stuck sleeping on the streets. Well, more specifically in a park. And I was sleeping, not really comfortably, outside for a few hours before everyone was woken up by the park sprinklers coming on. We went back to sleep for a little longer until some police came to wake us up, and it was time for us to leave our little home for the night. We migrated to a McDonald's down the street where we delicately used the dollar menu to buy us a place to sit for a little bit longer. Our new plan worked for a bit until we started falling asleep at our seats. The workers said to either stay awake or we had to leave, so we kept buying things and trying our best to stay awake. And everything was working out perfectly until this random man came into McDonald's drunk off his noggin. The workers ended up calling the police to make him leave, and while they were here, they had the police kick us out too. So now we were back to being on the streets, but at least the sun would be up soon. Hawaii is so expensive, and now I understand why it has one of the highest homelessness rates in all of America. Freaking, the cheapest place I could find there was $30 a night for a shared room, and if you wanted to have a private room, you're looking at about $150 a night on average, probably. And then, I go to Subway. I guess I haven't been there in a while, because I paid $12 for a footlong. The last I heard, it was a $5 footlong, bro! What is happening with the world? The hostel that I stayed in wasn't too bad, but if you compare it to the ones I stayed in overseas, you're going to let yourself down the same way that I did. The only good thing was it had free breakfast every morning. The bad thing was it was terrible coffee, shitty oatmeal, and then peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And, you know, the only good thing was it turns out I haven't had a PB&J in I don't know how many years, but it turns out I love them things because I've been eating them a lot lately, and this hostel put me on, so I got to say thank you for that. I tried to go boogie boarding today. I wanted to go surfing, but this felt like a good start. Hawaii's waves and water were so beautiful. I've always dreamed of surfing here. Today, I climbed Diamond Head Mountain, and no, I did not do it in flip-flops this time.
I see the road.
It was about an hour walk to the base of this ex-volcano, and then another mile walk to the top, but I just crossed another thing off my bucket list. Climb a volcano. Sort of.
Georgia. No peace.
When we finally got back to the hostel, my goal was to take a little power nap and then go buy a burger at 8 p.m.
Much later.
I woke back up at 5 a.m., so it's safe to say that my plan failed. Today I tried surfing, and I probably haven't fallen this much since the day I learned how to walk. And I could not wait to do it again tomorrow. I was mostly just relaxing for the last few days of my trip. I always intended for Hawaii to just be an unwinding time before I got back home, and since I spent so much accidental money at this point, I was just looking for the cheapest activities possible to do. I got pretty existential towards the end of my trip, and I think that in combination with the fact that I had a big lack of new experiences going on, it kind of turned the end of my travel journal into a mess of philosophical ideas. But it says here that today I went surfing and I only stopped when I fell off my board onto a coral reef and I sliced my foot open. Yeah. In my journal, I titled today The Last Day in Paradise, and I think I called it this because this moment in my life was an island of happiness in a sea of depression, and it just felt poetic to give it that title. But forget the sad shit, because I came to Hawaii for 2 reasons. I wanted to learn how to surf, and I wanted to buy a Hawaiian tiki. Well, after studying existential nihilism for a few hours, I headed out to do both of those things, and I would end up only doing half of both. I'll explain. I wanted to save money today, so instead of surfing, I went boogie boarding again, and I had a lot of fun. And at one point while I was in the water, I looked over and saw a huge sea turtle swimming next to me. That was pretty beautiful. And I did end up finding a tiki today too, but I was hoping for like an authentic tiki carved by maybe a local, something a little older, but I only managed to find something extremely tacky, but it's okay because I know I'm going to be back for the real thing one day. I had a great day. I was really satisfied. And I could say the same thing about my whole trip. I went on it hoping for an eye-opening experience, and I realized that there's more to see than just opening your eyes. Thank you to all the time I spent here. We headed back home today, and there's not much else to say because it was a pretty typical trip back to New York. I did a lot of journaling after my trip to reflect on everything I'd been through, and maybe I'll make a video about that one day, but this is the end of the story of my 80+ days overseas. There's a lot to be said about the things I've been through, but I hope that to anyone still watching this, that my stories only inspire you to explore the world that you have, because there's so much out there for you. Let yourself grow out of the shell you call home. No matter how big it feels, I promise there's so much more space to fill. You deserve to meet all the beautiful people that you share this world with. And that's all I wanted to say today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for joining me on this journey, even though I know I kind of pulled it out as long as I could. I think I wanted to keep this chapter of my life open because I knew that once I closed it, I had to start my next chapter. So thank you guys for sticking around because the next chapter is going to start soon. Catch you guys next time. Live forward, learn backwards. Peace. I debated. I really debated because I don't know if I want to. I still don't know if I should show you guys this. My first words back in America were so. They were gross. Okay, they were gross. But I'm an honest man, so I'm gonna give it to you. Have a good day.
Man, it feels so good to be back in my home country. It's been such a long 2 months. Oh, I'm so glad to be home.